Oh gosh. Hi everybody. Thanks so much for coming. That was a quick countdown. My name is Emma, also known as Emmapanada on the internet. I use they, she pronouns. I am the creator and lead developer / game designer of All the Witches. Thank you so much for being here tonight and hanging out with us. I'm gonna GM a little fun game for us tonight, and I hope it's enjoyable and a great time. Just to go around and introduce my wonderful cast that's here with me, let's start with Pooja. Please tell us who you are, where we can find you, and any other interesting information you'd like to share.
Everybody, I am Pooja. My pronouns are she, her, and you can find me on Twitter while it's still up at Pooja and at Poojaberwaki everywhere else, including the Twitch chat tonight. And the main thing that I am in on an ongoing basis, you can find me on Saturdays over on Total Party Kiss playing Strange Hungers, which is a queer horror D&D 5e campaign set in a homebrewed world with lots of homebrewed abilities, and it's great, and it's gay, and yeah. What else can I say?
Love it. Incredible. Love gay stuff. Next up, Basil.
Buddy, it's me, Basil, still fighting off a migraine. It's sitting up here. It's lovely.
No.
The math is going to be great in this session. Anyway, migraines plus dyscalculia is going to be a fun time. You can find me on Twitter. I noticed it's still melting even after I took a nap, but if it's still a solidifiable pile of brick goop, you can find me at Kobanya_Kana. And you can find me as Kobanya pretty much everywhere else. Gosh, what am I doing long term? Working on Pelogos, my original tabletop RPG horror game about death, grief, and the afterlife. And realizing the fun of game design is realizing when you have to move terms around. So the full version will look a lot different than the preview version now.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you can probably find me being a guest writer or sensitivity consultant for a whole host of things. And if anyone is interested in what I'm up to, you can always go on my website, towerofbasil.wordpress.com. So that's me. Also, I'm wearing a jellyfish beret. I don't think y'all can see it unless I really.
Oh, ooh.
That's really cool. The camera blurs it out a little bit, but I can see the basics of the design.
We can tell.
It's great.
Yeah, it's from Mayoko. I love it.
Oh, there we go. That's so cool. Also, Tower of Basil as a name for something is impeccable. I love it a lot.
Yeah, interestingly enough, weirdly, it matches my siblings' website that we both made independently. Theirs is Balshame's Baragwin, but apparently both of our websites have to do with nonsense words. We did not consult. This just happened.
I love it. Incredible. Iconic. Next up.
Did you have a shared language that you made up?
That is true. Sibling power.
True. Next up, Lola.
Hey, I'm Lola. I am Third Vault Yarns everywhere because I do things with yarn and knitting and I dye yarn for a living. But you can also find me in the TTRPG space over at Roll Together RPG, where I am playing a long-running game, Fracture, and that is streaming either Tuesdays or it might have changed now to alternate Mondays. Otherwise, you'll be able to catch me, I think, for the 7th over on the Nameless domain, playing Prayers in the Static.
Love it. Perfect. Thank you. And last but not least, Vidya.
Hey everybody, I'm Vidya. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me online everywhere at Vidya Valetti. I'm a game designer, game design consultant, bunch of stuff. Game design is my passion. It is also my burden. You can find my games online at vidyavaletti.itch.io. That's kind of what I got going on.
Incredible. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. For those of you who aren't aware, All the Witches is a original TTRPG with some deck building mechanics, just kind of exploring the diversity and complexity of specifically fantasy witches. We've got a really cool team of queer and BIPOC queer, just everybody working on this to create a really wonderful game that people can play and not have to worry about transphobes or other bigots being in charge of the property. So we're currently in Kickstarter. We just crossed a $40,000 stretch goal in the past couple days, which is huge. If you want to check out our Kickstarter, please just search up All the Witches on Kickstarter, or you can follow us on Twitter at allthewitches_ for all kind of the fun updates and my weird just whatever I decide to post every day. Today, we're going to be going on a fun little pirate adventure. And let's get started.
Pirates.
Oh, also, if you don't already, Bad House RPG is a really incredible new TTRPG channel here on Twitch that's focused on giving you some really amazing stories, just kind of made and told by BIPOC and queer creators. There's a lot of really amazing stuff going on here. There's some really amazing vampire content being made. There's a cyberpunk game that's going to be starting here in a couple of days that's run by my partner Matihi in the chat. And I'm really excited to listen to it because it sounds amazing. So yeah, definitely drop a follow if you can, and also go to their Twitter at Bad House RPG and follow them there so you can keep updated with everything that's going on. But for us tonight, our camera kind of comes to life, resting just above sea level. We see the bright sun kind of cascading down onto the ocean. Little spots of clouds rest lazily in the air, drifting along endlessly. Strolling on the water's surface is a large wooden ship. It probably contains about 3 to 4 different levels. There are cannons all on the sides, and if you look close enough, you can see this purple shimmer echoing across the surface of the wood. All is still, all is quiet. But then, something changes. The purple shimmer suddenly disperses, and we hear as a loud burst of energy kind of cascades out from the inside of one of the lower levels. Water begins rushing into the ship, and chaos is ensuing. On the ship itself, we hear people shouting,
"They're attacking! Protect the treasure! Defend the ship!"
And suddenly, we see that this ship is not calm at all. There are people running around trying to get control of this situation. And suddenly, our camera zooms into the ship through the hole as we see people quickly plundering various bits of treasure. Our camera turns, focusing on one person in particular. Pooja, what do you imagine your character is doing to help raid this boat in this moment?
Soraya, who is a brown-skinned witch with long, dark hair that is twisted into a very messy, damp blade, is in the water, scaling the ship from beneath. No one's paid attention, I'm assuming, to them just yet, but when they do, it'll be fun.
Incredible. I love it. So as we see your character kind of in the water, you gave a pretty good description. Amazing. Incredible. As we see you kind of waiting in the water, just getting prepared for whatever may come, our camera then turns to being that's very much opposite of you, Vidya, can you please describe what your character looks like and what you're doing in this moment?
Yeah. So, you see, like, God, it's like so, Hara is just fire, like, is just like a big old ball of smoldering fire. I think maybe like inside you can kind of see almost like a molten core. And I'm like wisping around. I feel like I'd be like cackling, like I'm like having a really fun time. As like, well, not a fun time. Like I'm, no, yeah. I'm trying to figure out like how deranged it is to be, like trying to set little things on fire and stuff like that as I kind of hop over, and just like getting in people's faces.
Incredible. I love that a lot. So we see you just kind of running around, like setting some little kind of bits of gunpowder or whatever else may be around on fire, and just like little bits of smoke are coming up, some little bits of fire are catching, and starting to kind of spread throughout the ship slowly.
Oh, I feel like, for sure, I'm like firing off cannons like too early, so they're just kind of going off, you know?
Yeah.
And some of that, like, just wasting materials.
And as you're kind of running by enthusiastically, we see somebody else. Basil, will you describe who your character is and what you are doing right now?
If I could just get a little bit of clarification, are we like on the top deck of the ship, or are we down where that explosion was?
You're down by the
we are.
explosion. You caused the explosion as kind of a like getaway from the ship with the treasure.
Okay, so we're down there where like water is getting in and everything. We're trying to leave, or we're trying to get in.
You're trying to grab the treasure and get out.
Okay, that has that. Okay, so my character, Vespertina Vesper, the citrine, is around my height because my brain won't visualize anything else. So like 5'3", dark skin, around my skin tone, with long black locks that are kind of tied up in like sort of a high ponytail, mostly just to keep it out of the way. And is wearing like these really nice brown leather thigh-high boots, and the impractical but beautiful like heavy pirate coat that's deep blue and decorated with like this golden lightning pattern. Like Vesper is a very ostentatious pirate. When the pirate shows up, you have to look good and you have to like set the scene. So definitely, I think when Vesper showed up, they, despite being probably a little damp from all that water, is still like they definitely struck a pose. And then seeing that like no one immediately was paying attention or even clapping or even standing there slack-jawed, just sort of rolled their eyes and is just flitting around trying to shove things into their pockets that look suitably shiny enough. But then also taking time to pull out like a small little compact mirror to check their reflection, because the last thing they want is like salt water crusting in their hair. So just trying to like shake off the water and still trying to get stuff done. So it's like, yeah.
Incredible. And as you're kind of striking a pose and kind of cleaning yourself off, grabbing things as you can, our camera turns to Lola. Lola, who is your character? What do they look like? What are they up to?
My character is Ashori, and they're reasonably tall and have a like slightly rounded build with nice muscular arms, because we love. But yes, so tall, they have really long heel twists that seem to always be very fluidly moving, and I think at this point they've kind of almost surfed through the water and into this hole that was made into the ship to kind of go and grab things. So down on that lower deck, I probably caught Vesper out the corner of my eye, but I'm probably like, oof, I give you too much attention normally, so
Iconic. So as you all are kind of doing your thing throughout the ship, getting ready, watching out, lighting random things on fire, posing, there's one other member of your crew that currently has like a large sack and is just shoving bundles and bundles of like cloths and coins and various other things into it. As you're watching this bag, you see that no matter how much it's being filled, it seems to still be kind of containing everything. And as water is starting to get further and further up, Flippy turns towards you. Okay, we need to start getting out of here. Hurry, hurry! And they like zip up the bag and turn and like dive into the water. And as they do that, you hear some people starting to rush down onto this kind of floor of the boat. There are 3 crew members that look down towards you all. There they are, get them! And they suddenly draw some swords, and we're gonna have a quick little fun encounter.
Yeah.
So the way encounters work in this game, and kind of skills and things in general, in all the witches, you have a few different attributes. You have power, agility, soul, and mind. And each attribute has a different rank in it. And when you roll a die, you're trying to roll under that rank. So at the beginning of an encounter, to roll initiative, you're basically rolling against a difficulty that I set for the challenge. So for this, we're just gonna say it's a D6 difficulty. So everybody will take a D6 die, and you can either roll agility or soul. And then you'll roll, and if you roll under, then you succeed the check and you get to act before the enemies. If you fail, you act after the enemies. And if you have questions or I confuse you with a lot of words, let me know. It's either agility or soul. You get to pick.
Successfully rolled under with a 2.
Heck yeah.
Rolling.
Successfully rolled over with a 6.
yeah,
That's
same.
the opposite of a success.
See, this is where I get justice from all of my die that never roll 6.
There you
my
go.
God.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They all hate me.
Do we add our agility to the? What are we? How
No,
does this
so
math work?
you're good, you're good. So you're taking the D6 and you just roll, and if the number is under or equal to your agility, you pass the check.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me look at my. Okay, under or equal. Okay, well that's good because I rolled a 3 and my agility's a 4.
Okay,
What?
so you pass. Perfect. So both Soraya and Vesper get to act before the enemies. Hara and Ashuri, sadly, you're kind of... Hara, you're a bit too busy burning things down to notice.
For sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And Ashuri, you're maybe a bit too distracted by Vesper, even if you're trying not to be. So, to start off, between Pooja and Basil, you two can choose which of you gets to go first and which of you goes second. There are 3 enemies currently on some stairs heading down about 10 feet away from either of you.
You want to go first, Basil?
Yeah, I can. Okay, let's see. Let's look at all my abilities.
Take your time, and if you have questions, let me know. This is a fun little learning stream, so don't stress at all.
Okay, how many actions do we get in a turn?
Great question that I totally forgot to mention. So at the beginning of an encounter, each player has a deck of tarot cards or playing cards. And at the beginning of an encounter, they'll draw 3 cards from the top of their deck.
Okay, so do I need to shuffle? Because I had grabbed the ones that you had
Yeah.
told me to get.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you could
so-
shuffle, that'd be wonderful.
I'm so bad at shuffling. This is Briar's job. I'm not even joking. My sibling shuffles my tarot deck for me because he's better at it. Okay, let's just see what these three end up being. I'll put these two to the side. Okay. It's a 1, 2, and a 3. That's funny.
Perfect. So with a 1, 2, or 3, basically on each of your turns, you'll play one of the cards in your hand, and that's how many actions you get that turn. An ace is a special card. It doesn't equal just one action like you might assume. It instead allows you to do one thing. So if you have a spell that costs like 5 actions, you could play an ace, and an ace will let you just cast it. Or if you want to like interact with a large object or use it to run like a bunch, you could do that. But it lets you do kind of one big thing. So what card would you like to play?
Okay, you said all the other pirates are still on the stairs, right?
Yeah, so the 3 kind of people coming down to meet you are on the stairs right now.
Okay, in that case, I want to use my 2 card, which is the 2 of Swords, which I don't think because I have everything
Oh, that's
blurred.
so cool.
Yeah, I have Yoshi Tane's Tarot of the Divine.
I love that.
I love that. Briar has like 2 or 3 other decks, but I didn't feel like getting up. I want to use my 2 of Swords in order to do my flintlock pistol attack.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this, it says that the action cost is 2, but the arcane ability says for 1 action. So is that 3 in total?
So we can say you already have your arcane ability set to a certain element. It would just be if you wanted to change it, you would have to spend like 1 action to change it.
Okay.
But since we're kind of picking up in the middle of the scene, what element would you like your pistol to deal damage as?
I would say because they're on the stairs and I don't feel like I want them to come down. That was my space heater. I would want my flintlock to do fire damage so that I can shoot it at the stairs and hopefully like block them from coming down.
Ooh, okay. That's amazing. All right, so you take out your flintlock pistol. It's set to fire damage. You aim. Let's say that there's a little gunpowder that Hara hasn't ignited already. And you aim in all the witches. This is a defense-based system for encounters. So you don't really roll to attack, except you roll what's called the critical die. A critical die is a D10. Every time you make a skill check or you make an attack, you roll the critical die. And if you roll a 1, it's an automatic failure. If you roll a 10, it's a critical. In all the witches, it's assumed that whoever's attacking has the capacity to like hit you unless the defender does something to kind of protect themselves. So go ahead and roll a d10 for me and tell me what you roll.
Is this one a D10? It's got a little 0 on it.
Yes, that's a d10.
Okay, this is Babby's first real dice.
That's exciting.
Yeah, this is actually the first pair of dice that I bought.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Hey!
Yeah, and then after I bought it, Brian was like, I have like three sets of dice, right? And then I was like, no, actually, you big nerd. Lovingly. I love my sibling, but we are such turbo nerds. Okay, let's see. Gosh, is that this? When the little dot for it's at the bottom, that means it's a 6, right? Not a 9?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I got a 6.
Okay, perfect. So nothing extra happens, but you see this kind of like pistol shot go off, and if you have a fast enough eyesight, you can see what looks like a tiny little fireball kind of flying through the air as it strikes the staircase and ignites in this big flash of fire some of the gunpowder that was there. I'm gonna say that all of the enemies that were there are surprised, and they're gonna take a penalty to their actions on their next turn, so they won't get as many. Next up, Pooja, what would you like to do?
Could we go over again how action economy works?
Absolutely. So, you have a digital deck. So,
Yes.
I've drawn 3 cards for you, and you should be able to click and see kind of what they are.
I'm just looking for where they. So do I just click? I have click to draw, drag to deal.
So over your portrait, do you see?
Oh, I see them. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, the images are not loading.
Oh, I
The
love
images
that.
are busted for me. I see like the little, the ye old Windows symbol with the indent and the file with the broken.
Oh, I love that. Perfect.
I'm gonna let these go.
I'm gonna recall all. I will.
I'm just gonna refresh. Roll 20. See. Oh. Maybe I should. You know what? Just as a try, I'm gonna attempt to open this in Chrome and see if that loads it. This is a Firefox issue.
Oh no, it's not working for me either. Okay,
okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw some physical cards for you, and then on
Perfect.
the break I'll fix that.
Worries.
Please bear with us just one moment, chat. Okay. All right, so you have an ace, a 2, and a 4
Okay.
in your hand. So just tell me which one you would like to use, and we'll be Gucci.
Well, I can do. I want to do fun things.
Fun things are great.
Okay, so if I wanted. Oh, sorry, I refreshed Roll20, so my character sheet also closed out. So I just gotta pull that up again. Okay. Ooh, I would like to punch somebody. And do I have to do anything to activate my deft strike, or is that always active?
That's always active.
Okay, well, so then I get to do that. Yeah, let's just start with
So just punching.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got we love buff pirates. Buff
We do
pirate
love buff
witch.
pirates.
Buff
It's true.
pirate witch gonna do what buff pirate witch gonna do.
Okay, perfect. So, Death Strike is actually a once per day thing.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay, then I will not do that. I'll just do a regular punch.
regular punch.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that, do you want to use your 2?
Yeah, let's use
Because
my
a punch
2.
would take 2 actions. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the pretty little card. It's cute little giraffes
cute.
being really
Oh
cute
my
together.
god.
And go ahead and roll the critical die for me, which is a D10, and tell me what you get.
1 second. A 1.
A 1. Okay, so that is unfortunately a critical failure. So as we'll say, you're kind of.
My dice roll terribly.
We'll say as you're kind of running up to punch one of these pirates is when this gunpowder ignites from Vesper's shot. So it kind of like throws you off as well, and you're not able to fully kind of get in there and punch somebody. But both of you have 20 feet of free movement. So if either of you would like to move around or anything, let me know. Feeling Gucci? Okay.
I'm happy to stay in the path of these folks because buff witch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So next up is their turns. And For enemies, what I do is I draw a number of tarot cards equal to the enemies that are on the field, and then I just kind of distribute them. So I drew a 4, an ace, and a 2. I think the enemies that got an ace and a 2 aren't going to be able to act this turn because of the gunpowder going off and them being kind of like surprised and thrown back. But the person who gets a 4, the person that you were about to punch, Soraya, instead gets to try to slash at you with a short sword. So I'm going to roll my critical die. And I rolled a 3, so nothing
This feels
extra
targeted
happens.
and rude.
You're right there.
It was targeted. I know. It's fine.
And so they slash towards you, and the way that this works is now you get to roll to defend. In all of the witches, the way defending works is you have your health, which is kind of determined by your endurance stat, and then you have 4 different ways of defending, which basically correspond to your 4 primary attributes. So you can defend with power, you can defend with agility, you can defend with mind, or you can defend with soul. Power and agility are your defenses against physical attacks, whereas mind and soul are your defenses against kind of mental attacks or soul-based attacks.
Okay.
So in this moment, you can choose whether you would like to defend with power or agility.
Agility, please.
Agility. Okay. So the difficulty is determined by the rank of the enemy's kind of physical attribute. These people are pretty weak. They just have, we'll say, a 2, like physical attribute. Super weak. So the difficulty is going to be a d6, and you're going to roll. And if you roll under your agility rank, then you succeed. If you roll above it, you fail.
3. My agility's a 4.
Perfect. Okay. So this person slashes towards you. You already were kind of in the middle of a jump from just the gunpowder, so you're able to easily take that momentum and dodge out of the way. For example, to you all and to the chat, if you had failed your defense roll and the enemy gets to roll their damage, then say they get to roll a d6 for damage. Your agility is 4. If they rolled like a 3, then your agility automatically blocks that damage and you don't take any to your health. But if they rolled a 5 or a 6, then 4 of your agility would block 4 of that damage, and then the extra damage or 2 would go to your health. But then because damage got through the kind of attribute you defended with, that attribute would become fatigued, and it would go down by 1 for the rest of the encounter. So this just kind of shows how fatigue sets in as you're trying to defend yourself and fight throughout kind of a combat, and you get like weaker as you fail more and more defense throws and stuff like that and take more damage. But yeah, so now the enemy's turns are over, and it is Hara and Ashuri's turns. Which of you would like to go first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I've got my
Alright.
hands put up, Mike.
Okay. Well, so we've got to get away. What's the status of our ship? Is it
I
by
think
us?
you have a special connection to the ship. Could
I
you
do.
share that with everyone?
So I am, as I described, I am like a fire spirit, and I think I embody that as much of the element as possible. So I am just an amorphous fiery thing that can kind of take shape as I want. But I do live in like the engine of our ship, and so I like kind of have a special connection with the ship itself, and I like fuel it, and it is my home. It is also my shelter because a fire spirit surrounded by water is the most terrifying thing in existence. Yeah. That's also what I'm curious about. Is like, are we close? Can I feel its presence? Do I know where it's coming from? How much time we have?
I think you can feel it rapidly approaching from under you.
Oh, hell yeah! Oh, that rules. Okay. Okay, so we got a little bit of time. I should help my allies. So I'll say, hey everybody, ride's on its way. What's the holdup? And then I guess so I was on the deck, so there's all these people kind of blocking the stairs where the treasure is and things like that, right? With all of our allies down in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see if I can do anything that doesn't just cave that in, but instead maybe helps people out. Can I guess I will play a card first. So I'll play my 4, so I can do a few things. I want to start fucking with the they've all got weapons, and I see that I can heat objects. I can enchant objects and kind of mess with people. Can I try and heat up their guns and swords so they drop them?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have, so as kind of somebody who studies enchantment magic, you have a spell called Imbue, which lets you kind of put different enchantments on different objects.
Yeah.
There's an ability you could have taken that would have increased your range for Imbue.
Yeah.
But right now it's just kind of a touch-based spell. So I can say that you can get up behind them and you touch one of their weapons.
Yeah.
And try to put this kind of enchantment on it if you would like.
Perfect. I like a flaming little wispy tendril taps them on the shoulder, basically. Hey.
Totally. So go ahead and make your critical die check, which is a D10.
That is a 10.
Ooh, okay. So this is a critical, which means it'll do extra damage.
Yeah.
If the person kind of wants to try to keep hold of their weapon, which would be dumb of them. So this Imbue uses your power to cast. So what is your power rank?
It should be 4, but let me double check. Yes, it is. It is 4.
Okay. So having a 4 in that attribute means the difficulty to defend against that is going to be a D8. So I'm going to take a D8. We've already said that these people have 2 power, so I have to roll a 2 or under for this person to succeed. I rolled a 4.
Nice.
So, as this kind of sword heats up in this person's hand, they take 2 points of damage, dropping their weapon, and I'm gonna say they kind of also back into a little gunpowder explosion that you had set up earlier for the critical, and they're just knocked out.
Perfect. It's like the sword drops and then it lights the gunpowder on fire, it's hot.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Okay, perfect. Incredible. Is there anything else you would like to do? You still have 2 other actions.
I do still have 2 other actions.
Actually, you have 3 more actions because you have an ability called Efficient Imbue, which lets you just cast it for 1 action.
Oh shit!
You could keep attacking as long as you have enough magical energy to do it. You can keep casting the spell and trying to make all of them drop their weapons.
Oh, Imbue costs 4. That was more than I thought. Okay. Let me make sure. 5. Subtraction is my enemy. Let's see. That is pretty costly in terms of magical energy.
So let me tell you a secret that I haven't introduced yet.
Ooh.
So witches' magical energy is largely tied to your adrenaline. So when you're in a stressful encounter, or an encounter in general where you're moving around a lot and doing a bunch of stuff, you can spend an action to try to regain magical energy. So you can spend an action and roll a number of d4 equal to your endurance rank, and then you'll gain back that much magical energy.
Okay, that's really useful. Then I think I'm gonna try and heat up somebody else's weapon, and then I might spend an action to gain some more stuff.
Perfect. So go ahead and roll that critical die for me again.
Going around. That's another 10. I swear I'm rolling these. I'm giving it a full roll, I promise.
Okay, let me roll this d8 again. I rolled a 7. So they take 2 damage and drop their weapon, and then just happenstantially,
It's
there was another
another
pile of gunpowder. And it just kind of explodes, and this person gets knocked out.
I love that. Let me see. So that'll cost. That's another 4. So I am down to 1 magic energy. So I think I will try and regain some for my third action.
Yep.
That is d4 is equal to my endurance, right?
Yes. So how much endurance do you have?
I got 2.
Okay, so roll 2d4.
That's pretty good. Also pretty good. I got 7 back total.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're back up to 8.
I'm back up to 8. I got 1
And you
more
have
action.
1 more action.
I think I think the only thing that really costs 1 action that I got is to set something else on fire. So I'm gonna may as well. I mean, if it ain't broke, is really what I'm thinking right
it's
now.
working out. So roll the critical die for me again.
There's no way it can. Okay, yeah, that's a 5. We're good.
Okay, so nothing extra happens this time. I'm gonna roll a d8. I rolled a 4. So this person successfully gets hit. You kind of go down the line, just kind of grabbing people's weapons, heating them up. They drop them, explosions happen. This person drops their weapon, taking 2 damage, and they're looking pretty kind of hurt by kind of just the damage that this does. Oh no, it only deals 1 damage this time because it's not a critical. But they still drop their weapon. Unfortunately, there was no pile of gunpowder next to it this time.
I was like, shouldn't you have exploded by now? Like, just thinks that's clearly what's supposed to happen.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. So next up, Ashuri, what would you like to do?
So, just as a real quick thing, would I already have my remnants summoned, or would I need to do it as part of an action?
We're in the middle of a scene. We can say that it's been summoned already. You can just have that kind of subtracted from your magical energy already.
Cool. I will do that and take that into account. Awesome. So, in which case, I believe that I will... Yes. So, with remnants, to use, say, when I use an attack, do they get to attack after me, or is it only if I use a spell to direct them to do so?
So the way remnants work, for the audience, remnants are basically these magical creatures that people who study conjuration magic can make magical contracts with to summon them and help them in battles or any other situation, really. And how they work is for your turn, you'll play whatever card you want to use for your turn. And after your turn, your remnant gets to go, and they use the same number of actions that you played. So if you played a 3, then they also get 3 actions for their turn.
Okay.
But if you want them to go before you, we can do that too.
You know what? I'll just do the 3.
3? Oh, that's so...
It feels very apt.
My favorite thing about making this game is just getting to see people's different tarot decks.
Sorry. I realized I forgot to show my card. Let me do that real quick.
Oh, whoa!
It's
Beautiful. It's lovely.
So good.
So, yes, I just think this card is particularly apt because there are 3 of us, and I have my contractor spirits with me, so all of us working together. Right. In which case, I am going to kind of come in. So we're at the bottom of the stairs, which is now blocked off by fire and explosions.
So there was kind of like a little fire explosion. There's still little bits of fire, but you could like walk over them.
Mhm.
Nothing has caught enough to be like a huge hazard.
Yeah.
I think that Ashwari will kind of almost slip through the fire in a very kind of bird movement, avoiding it very nicely, and will come in with their staff.
Okay.
So, which is a strength/ability-based attack.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that work? I need to take my...
Yeah, so you're gonna roll your critical die.
Yeah.
And let me know what you get.
Oh, that is a 10.
Oh,
Giving that
okay.
energy.
There we go. I love this. So now, would you like to use your power or your agility for this attack?
Definitely not my power.
Okay, so your agility.
My power is 1. My agility is 3.
It's 3? Okay.
Yeah.
So, because you have a 3 agility, that means the difficulty of the check is a D8. And so, as established, I have to roll below a 2, or a 2 or under, in order to successfully defend. I rolled a 6. So, you get to roll damage now. So your staff's damage is a D6. So go ahead and roll that for me.
Oof.
A 6,
I rolled
right?
so well on the critical dice, and it was actually just a 1 damage.
Okay,
On the
but
D6.
now you critted, so roll a second one.
Oh. This time it's a 4.
Okay, perfect. Describe what it looks like as you knock this person out.
Yeah. So I imagine that Ashwari will have kind of slipped through or kind of danced through the flames, and with the staff kind of brought it off their back, and then as an extension almost of that of the movement of them coming around, their arm will come out, and the staff as that extension will sweep this person that they're attacking off their feet, and then come back overhand down on their head to be like, nope, good night.
I love that so much. So as each of these people that came down to kind of combat you have now been knocked out, you hear some noises coming from the deck of the ship now, as more people are gathering and hearing that there's this like obvious fighting coming from below. And Hara, you feel the ship suddenly come in kind of range for you to connect. And the rest of you see just your ship. What would you like your ship name to be? Somebody come up with a fun ship name.
very bad at naming ships, so if anybody's got it.
The only thing coming to mind for my brain, because it still hurts, is something about gallant and something about perfume. And those two don't go together. But those are two adjectives. Maybe someone can add a noun or a color.
I was gonna be like, what about good smells? Because that's just a hilarious ship name.
Good smells.
Or smells
for
good.
it.
One of the two.
I like good smells.
Good
Good
smells.
smells.
We're being
Oh.
attacked by good smells.
Our flag is.
It's just confusing. It's just confusing as all
Of course, yeah.
Maybe it's just what we associate with the ship because of, I don't know, the resin we treat it with or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Got, like,
Everyone's
an
first reaction is like, your ship smells good.
Yes.
What you
There's something-
cooking?
Well, it's like it's also like a thing of fear, right? We have a reputation. If you don't see our ship coming, you'll smell us
you
first.
smell-
Oh,
somebody
it doesn't
somebody goes
suddenly
like,
smell.
like, yeah, it's like, what is that? What is that really good smell? You know you're in trouble.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
what's the smell of
Smells good.
jasmine and lilac on the wind?
Yeah.
And always like standing like, at the stern, like freaking Jack Sparrow style, is just Vesper, hair blowing in the wind, going, "Good
Mhm.
morning, lads. We're here to take all you own." Just day, night, doesn't matter. Just
That's
every
great.
nighttime there's a lamp
Incredible.
now.
Hey, at
Yeah.
least you'll be left with a memory of an amazing smell, though I guess it's not going to be associated with something good.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. You probably like feed the engine. Like I just like eating perfume and flowers. You know.
I definitely think that's something Vesper does. Just goes down there regularly, like, "Oh, today I have some sandalwood, darling. What do you think about that? I've had this
Yum
cinnamon,
yum yum yum.
a few
yum,
different
yum,
things." Well, slow down, don't choke.
yum.
Like they just sit
This
down
is
there with a book and
incredible.
like their like little sachets that they've put together, just having like conversation and taking notes. Like, "Oh, was it too much? Was it not enough? I'll change the measurements."
It's good.
That's so good. So, for perhaps the first time in a very long time, you see your ship before you smell it, as it comes breaching out of the water, where your captain, Captain Compo, has some like special magics that can allow you to submerge for a brief period of time. And so the ship reemerges out of the water, causing like this huge wave to crash against the ship, tilting it heavily, causing various people on the deck to either fall off the ship or completely lose their footing. And your ship suddenly kind of recenters itself on the surface of the ocean, and that beautiful, intoxicating scent suddenly meets you, and it is time to go. You all, Lola, did you want to say something?
I'm just wondering, is there a way that I can use Oko, one of my remnants, just to be like, oh, and we're leaving now, so I'm going to use the dazzle ability just
Ooh.
to kind of leave us a little bit of, well, a little bit of cover for us getting off the ship, but also like, look, a ship.
I love
Yeah, absolutely. So can you describe what this remnant looks like and what it kind of does in this moment?
Okay, so Oko is a water elemental remnant, and they're this see-through eel which has kind of lights and lightning running through it. So it's almost like they're always sparking slightly, but it'll be flashing like different colors every time. And so what happens is Oko will kind of come around Eshwari's head and twirl in the air, and as they twirl, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until there's this almost shower of sparks around them.
I love that so much. And so this kind of like signals you all leaving and distracts people who may be kind of seeing this display. And our camera pulls out as we see this ship that you've looted and plundered begin to slowly start kind of sinking in just the destruction that it's currently been exposed to, as the good smells begins to sail away successfully, having plundered a ship yet again. And then
The good smells.
The good smells.
Oh my god.
And suddenly, in front of our camera are two glasses kind of clinking together of just this really dark kind of liquid, a specialty of the area. And we see the crew of the Good Smells celebrating one together loudly after a successful endeavor. And we're going to take a quick break there, just to kind of get ready, do our thing, get some little waters or use the bathroom or reset our internets. It's fine. But we will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, so please get up, do a stretch, get some water, hydrate, and we'll be back soon. Hello, everybody, again. It's me, Emma, also known as Emmapanada, here with All the Witches game. Thanks so much for waiting. We really appreciate it. We hope you got some stretchies and some water and whatever else you need to do for self-care. We're going to jump back into the session where we left off. The team had just successfully raided a large ship, and they have brought their sails back to port, and their kind of crew is celebrating together in this large tavern. Our camera shows, now that we're back from commercial break, this really small island with just like one building on it. And inside the building is this tavern. The tavern itself is pretty small and humble, but as you kind of see various members of your crew or other people kind of walking through the tavern with these large boxes of goods that you've acquired, they're walking into this back room that has a trapdoor that leads under the tavern into this whole kind of underground system and network of kind of like piracy trading. So you all have been paid handsomely for your wares that you've been kind of acquired, and we see Flippy, the other person that was kind of with you on your mission. They've got like shaved head, except basically this very long stringy mohawk that's kind of like flowing down the sides of their head right now. They've got like very large blue eyes, and you can see their fingers have like scales running up, going to about their elbow, and they're happily drinking the special here, which is called Blurskog, which it's basically like a soda. And you can see everybody's enjoying Blurskog, and hopefully that's not a word for anything because I just made it up. But yeah, we look around the tavern, various people are celebrating, telling stories of everything that happened, what it was like to be underwater waiting for all of you, the kind of sounds of the explosion reverberating through the water to kind of signal for them to start coming up. It was very loud and exciting, and we see all of you celebrating off on the side, and I would like all of you to give me a soul check. We're gonna say it's a difficulty of a D6.
Oh. Gonna be terrible. Ooh, maybe not, I don't know.
Lola, you look real happy. I think it went well for you.
I rolled a 4. My soul is a 3.
Oh.
Is
Yeah,
it
we roll
meets
under our
beats?
score, right?
Meets is a success.
Okay, we're good.
And we roll under.
I rolled a 2.
You're aiming to roll under or equal to.
Dang. And I was so excited. I was like, oh, hey, I rolled a 5.
Oh. Tragic. Okay, so the only one that succeeded was Pooja, correct? All right, yep. Perfect. So, as everybody is celebrating, yeah, you're kind of all hanging out by a window. The sun is setting off in the distance. A lot of the colors in the sky have receded, and the clouds and just the sky in general are turning dark and purple. But as you look out, Soraya, you see what looks to be somebody resting on the sides of this island, just kind of breathing heavily, drenched in water as if they just swam here.
Soraya immediately points that out to everybody. See if they can see it. Or is it the soda?
It could be the soda.
It
Just
could be the
making you
soda.
see things. All of you also see this person. They appear to be human, a tad bit older. They've got kind of this dark gray hair that right now is just pressed to their frame because it's so wet. A little bit of a gut, some fancy ish kind of clothes. You would imagine they perhaps once had a heavier kind of jacket, but it was maybe a bit too waterlogged and had to be let go. And they just seem extremely exhausted, resting on the sands of this beach.
Do we recognize them at all?
Give me a mind check. Anybody who wants to try and see if you know who this might be. We'll say it's going to be a DC D8.
All muscle, no brain.
I think a few of you have a 1 in mind.
Yeah, I have one.
Mine is my highest
Vesper is
stat.
drinking.
Mine is my highest stat, but I rolled a 7. So.
No! Hey, we're gonna get you to succeed on a check one of these days.
One day.
You got a crit, so that's good. So you don't recognize who this is.
Do we have a sailor's code to help these people out? Maybe even I was like, should we do anything? Anybody? I mean, I'm not going up to the beach, but anybody else? I don't think I can help somebody out. Anybody?
Why not?
In Vesper, how far away is this person from where we're at?
There may be 50 feet outside of this building.
Okay, that's far. Because I was like, can Vesper just throw a coaster at them and be like, "Are you alive?"
You just start yelling at them from the window.
You can do one of those cool trying to do a card trick where you throw it. It would just be a difficult check.
Yeah, you know what though? Because definitely I feel like Vesper would have looked at that person, squinted, and then been like, and then took another swig from the giant flagon that they have with the soda, and then been like, you know what? And just starts groping around on a table and just finds a coaster, and it's just like, hey, you're ruining the party. You look terrible. Get up! And they just they are just gonna throw a coaster at them to see if they can hit them, and if not, well, they've said their piece and they're gonna go back to drinking.
Okay.
My God.
We're gonna call this a D12 agility check.
That's fair. Which one of these little darlings is it? Nope, not you. Whoops. No, not you.
It looks like.
It looks like. It's
Yeah,
one of
we'll
the
get
little-
there. Right as you guys are like, this is what it looks like. I'm like, found it!
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Well, there you go. No, that is a 10.
Okay. So yeah, you throw it and it kind of clings against the window or the open kind of window frame and does not meet the target at all. But they seem to kind of move their head looking towards the building as they're lying there.
All right.
Oh,
Let's
lovely. Okay.
help these guys.
Tenley.
I think.
You hear them kind of try to loudly exclaim in between heavy breaths.
I think Eshuari is going to kind of. I think shimmy their way out. It's always dancing, always. But we'll shimmy their way over because they are also very much a healer, and or protector, and will want to see if there's anything they can actually do to help.
Yeah.
I'll probably come out to join you just because I'm curious.
Vesper has moved to dancing on a chair, just wholly uncaring. Just going, "You've got this, loves. Good luck." Now, what did you
Soraya's
lads hold
dancing
this
too.
table?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, we're
Perfect.
just
I love it.
It probably looks exactly like that too. It is
Yeah.
not. It is not. Soraya
It's
is
that
best
soda.
in water. Let's just say on dry
Yeah.
land, she's just a.
That's how I dance. Is there something wrong with that?
No, Soraya dances exactly how a lot of people karaoke. You know, A for effort.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Usually
Yeah.
Oh my
a lot of
god.
intensity.
That's
Definitely
great.
over there doing like my mom's dance, which is just this. Yeah.
I love
What do you mean
this.
you're supposed to accidentally punch the hangings?
Incredible. So as Hara and Ashuri go out to check on this person, you get closer and you see that they just keep repeating, Tenley. Tenley. And getting closer, you see physically they're okay, just dealing with extreme exhaustion. Could probably use some water. Hydration is important, folks. But physically, they're not dying or anything.
Okay. The water's not my strong suit.
I think Ashuri will often have a flask or several at the hip, and will be like, perhaps this one, and will offer a hand and and the flask, and be, darling, can I help, Tenley?
They eagerly accept the flask, gulping it down quickly, and after breathing a little, now that they have water in their system, they seem to be kind of recuperating a bit better. All Tenley tentacles. We found it.
Found what? Anything exciting?
Does that ring any bells?
What
You
a
know?
great question. Make a d6 mind roll.
We'll do that.
See if you know Tenley tentacles.
All right.
Can I?
You may also,
yeah.
absolutely.
I would hope you do, because my mind is ass.
I'm like, let me succeed on this check. It's a 2!
Hey,
Ooh, yeah!
There we go.
I did not succeed.
Okay. But hey, props on you for asking if you could try.
Oh, absolutely.
Tenley tentacles. Ooh, that rings a bell.
The name starts kind of settling on your mind, and you're recalling some information. In the waters around you, there are various almost legendary creatures that over the past 10, 20, 100 years have become almost infamous for destroying ships and kind of taking the lives of whoever may be coming after them, or whoever may have even just wandered too close accidentally. Tenley Tentacles is perhaps one of the most notable sea monsters that traverses these realms. We see a shot inside as you're kind of recalling, and we're getting this exposition subtitled on the bottom of the screen, and we see a faded kind of wanted poster for Tenley Tentacles Dead, and it's just this like really rough black and white, or I guess black and yellow on parchment, picture of what people think Tenley Tentacles looks like, of just kind of this big storm happening and coming out from the water and the waves are these 10 tentacles grasping at a nearby ship. And underneath it says 3 million Zelly, which is not an official currency system for all the witches. It's just something I'm using here. 3 million Zelly bounty, wanted dead.
I think as this occurs to Ashori, if allowed, we'll probably put a hand up and kind of stroke a hand through. I've forgotten what your character's name is now.
Oh, Hara.
Hara's flames, like
Mhm.
just kind of float, and be like, Tenly tentacles. I think there's a wonderful. I'm not gonna say little because it is incredibly tasty. 3 million Zelly. And we'll look over at this person and say, nearby, did you say?
It can't be. You would be a fool to chase after it.
Ooh.
But
A fool,
rich
I
one.
say.
A rich one. Sorry, looking over at
Yeah. Ooh. I think like Hara's like he's kind of processing this, right? Is like, what are you talking about? It's like trying to like, I think like while like you were, while like the thing was happening, I'm like, are you okay? What's going on? Who's Tenly Tentacles? What's going on? And then as you say the bounty, what was it, 3 million? Yeah. Just kind of like erupts a bit, like is like just brightens, flame goes up. 3 million? I'm so sorry. It was very loud. You gotta be kidding me. We gotta go. I mean, we have to do this.
I mean, well, dangerous sea creatures, but also delicious bounty. Perhaps we should. Do you want to come in and then we'll go talk to the others? Pointing at the.
Yeah.
You're a fool, but I can see that I can't convince you. So I'll come in and I'll tell you what I know.
Wonderful.
And inside, as you're dancing, Soraya and Vesper, can you give me a D8 soul check?
Well, at least it's not my soul's not a 1. Wait, what is this one? Why am I so bad at finding my dice? I stare at them all the time. Wait, is this one? No, that one has a 9 on it. I don't know what numbers are anymore. This is a 6. Good lord.
This is such a mood for me sometimes, especially with D20 and D12. I get them confused a lot.
Well, I rolled a 7, so that's a no. I'm partying too hard, and I'm breaking it down like that one. I only remember I think it's like a Sierra song where there's like a trumpet playing and she's like backing it up. Like that's what Vesper is now doing on the table, just having too much of a good time, convincing some people to play some instruments, and it's just like singing some kind of bawdy shanty. It's just like, louder, let me hear you. We're gonna back it up in here.
Oh my God.
Had way too much soda. I get like this. I get like this with too much soda. So
Mood. Soraya, would you like to make a soul check as well?
Sure, this is gonna go terribly.
It's a D8.
Boy. I gotta just. Yeah, that's a 10. There's an 8. No. I rolled a 3 and I had to beat a 2.
Okay. So, neither of you noticed this as you're backing it up and dancing. But after a couple moments, you hear parts of the room go a little quieter. And then you hear Flippy exclaim, "What's that?" And our camera turns as we see that the wanted poster we had seen for old Tenley Tentacles that was worn and faded once before is showing new life. The parchment seems newer, fresher. The kind of inks have darkened. And the reward is now 10 million Zelly.
Ooh.
As
I thought it
news
was tasty
is beginning to
before.
get around that a sighting has occurred. In walks Hara, Ashuri, and their new friend,
Whose name we didn't ask for, clearly.
whose name you didn't ask for.
No, distracted by that promise of Zelly.
Zelly. And as you walk in, you see the room has grown quiet except for two people who are still tearing it up. And the captain kind of looks towards you as the door opens. "I think we found our new heading."
Oh, yes. And this wonderful is indicating to this person and is like, give me a name, something.
Brusco.
Ah,
My
this
name's
wonderful-
Captain Brusco.
Brusco, Captain. This wonderful Captain Brusco is going to, and Ajori will kind of steer them front and center, as in a, like, you're not getting away now! Is going to tell us how to find that delicious bounty.
As Captain Brusco steps forward, our camera kind of zooms in on their face, and just kind of the horror that they're experiencing as they're retelling the events. Their kind of features fade away as our camera sees a ship cruising along the dark ocean. Storm clouds are hanging overhead, rain pouring down. The waves have picked up, crashing against this ship, but only ever so slightly. The camera changes to the deck. People are tearing. I don't know much about ships. They're kind of tying down ropes and doing things just to prepare, just in case things turn for the worst in this storm. We see Captain Brusco behind the helm of the ship and calling out various orders. "Oh, tie that down better. Do another thing." Except way cooler and better.
Yeah. They say the word ballast, and they say something about, the bow and the deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the mizzen
Starboard. Yeah.
Hoist the mainsail, who knows?
Something about a mainsail, right?
I haven't watched enough of One Piece to understand the different boat terms yet.
It's been too long since I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, so we see this scene, and then suddenly we're looking over the captain's shoulder as his attention turns quickly, and we see what looks like a larger than normal wave. It catches their attention. It's not quite right. The remnants of the wave crash against the ship, turning it slightly, leading it elsewhere. And then another crashes against the ship, a wave caused not by a storm, but by something else. He calls out, "Ready." Everyone pauses for a moment, grasping the situation, and then they start moving. People begin to move towards cannons, getting various cannonballs ready, getting the wick lighters kind of burning, preparing themselves for whatever may be coming. But what was coming came too fast. Suddenly, piercing straight through the bottom of the ship, through the top, a long tentacle that our camera just sees as black and dark extends through the ship and then pulls down portions of it into the water. Almost instantly, the ship is separated in half.
Oh.
Another tentacle wrapping around the helm.
Good.
The helm, the front of the ship, wraps around the front of the ship and begins pulling it down. The buoyancy of the front half of the ship is resisting, and we see another tentacle coming, pulling it down further and further. Then another tentacle and another tentacle. More tentacles begin wrapping around the back of the ship. People are panicking. People are jumping. The captain, not one to go down with his ship, abandons. He jumps off the back, one of the only ones to do so. And as the ship disappears under the ocean, he turns back and we see 10 tentacles kind of careening through the ocean, pulling the ship down. And then the swim begins. The captain was not always alone. The captain had others with them, but they lost themselves to the harshness of the swim. But eventually, the captain did arrive on a lone, sandy island with a small tavern and a rowdy crew. And then the camera kind of focuses in on the captain's face again. Pulling out, we see the tavern of the crew of the Good Smells. Silence hangs in the air briefly. But then your captain calls out, "Aye. But old Tenley Tentacles hasn't come across something that smelled as good as ours.
Me!
We can take this creature. Am I right?" And cheers like erupt through erupt through the tavern. Captain Brusco just hangs their head, uncertain of your futures. But your crew cannot be convinced otherwise.
No. I think
And
Hara
soon enough.
is like,
Oh, go for it.
Hara's like emboldened now because it's like hearing a horror tale of a ship going down is like, you know, is like, not my house, not my guys, you know? So we gotta slay the ship slayer, you know? That's what we gotta do. Has like not a lot of empathy for the crew that kind of fell, but it's like, the fucking ship got ate? Nah.
Iconic. Not too long later, early in the morning, we'll say, so that you all can rest up, you can increase your magic energy to max or whatever else you need to do. I think that's probably the only thing. Some of you may have been down. You all are found on your ship once again, the Good Smells. Moving through the ocean towards where the Captain Brusco had told you they had come from. It is not far, but the weather is on your side, the skies are clear, the wind is at your back, and you all are keeping a watchful gaze. After almost a full day of sailing, everyone give me a D8 soul check.
I got it. I think
We got successes. Oh my gosh.
We got successes. We all got. Oh.
Nah, that's
I was giving a thumbs up to no, I got a 6.
Yeah.
My
got
dice
a
are so happy to
2.
exist. They just keep rolling high.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm too
Me
busy.
too.
Everyone else is watching the sky, but real talk, Vesper is like still looking at themselves in the mirror, like, no, it's a
Oh
good
my
morning. There's a good
God.
breeze. You guys have got this. I'm just.
Still doing your affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Of
my
course.
eyebrows getting thinner? I may have had too much soda last night. What did I do with my eyebrow pencil? And just going through various pockets, trying to just. Let's just tighten that up a bit before we start shooting into sea beasts' maws and what have you. I have to look good while I kill it.
Oh my.
Just not paying attention.
I love
That's
that
what
a
everyone
lot.
else is for.
Mhm,
They're here to
of
look
course, of
fabulous and
course.
occasionally shoot things.
Yeah, totally. So you're checking yourself out, getting ready, doing what you need to do, doing your self affirmations, and the rest of you are standing ready. You're on the deck. You're on the deck, or elsewhere. But wherever you are, suddenly you begin to see quick glances of something breaching the water and then quickly going back under. At first, your brain is like, oh, maybe it's like a dolphin or like a shark or a whale or something. But then it keeps happening more and more. And the movements of whatever's coming out remind you almost of a snake. Just very kind of like long, no legs or anything, just like kind of a long tendril. And as you focus more and more, keeping eyes, you then see one large tentacle begin to lift out of the water. And the three of you, what would you like to do? Or what are you doing right now as you're seeing this?
I think Eshori is probably going to. Can we take actions now, or is
Totally,
it kind of
yeah,
just
if you would
ready
like.
to go? So I think Eshori is going to prepare themselves, and in that's very much summoning their remnants to kind of stand ready with them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
As like a thing, and we'll kind of shout to everyone. It's like, I see the beasties on the horizon.
Everyone hears that and turns, seeing this tentacle as well, and they all rush to get ready.
Do I turn or no?
As you hear kind of like this called out, you understand and see what's happening, and you can absolutely take a turn.
Okay. Because I'm like, otherwise it's just, oh, God, what is that?
I want to know, what are the limitations of my ability to imbue things? Like, could I imbue the ship with something?
So
Like, if
your
protect it or prepare it?
your imbue spell is initiate.
Yeah.
Which means for the audience there are 3 levels of spells. There's initiate, adept, and master. Because
So
we're all
it's-
like beginning adventurers, kind of have the weaker versions of most spells. So yours says that
No,
I think it can't be
large-
over 10 pounds, 50 pounds.
It's 50 pounds. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I think reading the wrong one. I was looking at my abilities, not the actual spell. So,
But
okay,
I mean,
cool.
you have other ways, other special ways to enhance the ship.
Yes, I would, if possible. So that would be my discordant stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to because I'm also thinking about the like I have the reactive imbue, as like well, I guess tell you my idea and then we can maybe see if it makes sense. Is just like okay, this thing likes to wrap around and touch the ship, so I want it to like the ship itself to kind of be hot to the touch to this thing that is trying to grab it. Especially maybe I'll leave the deck safe for the for us, but like the sides and the stuff, so if it tries to reach up it'll burn itself.
Tell you what, since you can become one with the ship basically. If you go into discordance and you're like in the engine of the ship, the ship becomes kind of like an extension of yourself, and you'll be able to roll to try to put an enchantment on the outside of the ship.
I love that.
I will allow this. I think it's cool.
Hey, would this be so I would increase my discordance by 1? Is that yeah.
Increase your discordance by 1 as your body kind of like quickly returns the engine of the ship. And what other little fun things does taking your first point of discordance do? Can you tell the audience?
Yes. Because it like changes me, right? That's the physical change. I think so like my I get like bigger, or like I get kind of my body gets hotter, right? It grows, it gets bigger, I'm like becoming, I think like my flames start to flicker a lot more, because that's the other thing is like my hot flames begin to emit from my body, so it's like I'm slowly kind of invoking and becoming more of myself. I'm going into the like unpredictability, the rage of the fire itself.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so to prepare, I will give you, this is going to be a D8 difficulty, and imbue is power, so I think you have a 4 power, so you've got like a 50% chance.
I got good odds. Let's see. Come on. Yes! Okay, that was a 1. So it worked.
Oh, nice. Okay, incredible. So go ahead and roll me the critical die as well.
Oh, sure. Of course.
Just in case.
That's 7.
Okay, so nothing extra happens. But what does it look like as this kind of enchantment starts taking course on the outside of the ship?
I like to think that because the ship, like I'm kind of a part of the ship, there's like siding or like all the kind of metal rails or anything that kind of keeps the ship together. It like I like almost like a mech, right? Like I can kind of push my tendrils in it and like it like fills up, it heats up, you know? So I think like the sides of the ship, like the metal bands that hold all the planks together and stuff will start to like heat up, and maybe even there's like little steam like around the edge of our ship as it kind of visibly the heat waves, and it starts to not full on boil the ocean because that's like not where it is, but you know it's hot.
Yeah,
hot.
Absolutely incredible. And as this is happening, I think this would probably even kind of make the smells of the good smell even more powerful.
For
you know,
sure.
so they're really kind of like cascading around you as you all can smell this. And this is probably not the first time you've done something like this. So you're like understanding what's happening. And what do the rest of you do to get ready?
Well, question.
Uh-huh.
Sea is boiling. I should probably not go into the sea, right?
The sea's not like quite boiling,
Yeah.
but it is heating up around you. Not to the point where it'd be like uncomfortable.
I would
like
even. I
a-
think the
Yeah,
visual
go
is like any of like the spray that touches the side of the boat like sizzles.
Okay.
So maybe don't touch the side of the boat. Is I get if we want to like really play into it.
Yeah. In which case, I think Soraya will want to go down a discordance path.
Okay.
there.
Which one would you like to do?
I think we're gonna go with natural weapons.
Ooh. So what does this look like?
I think Soraya, being a water-based spirit, natural weapon for them, I think. I don't want to say they start to look a little bit like there's a shimmer of that desert oasis mirage thing going on,
Ooh, yeah.
where you just kind of feel like either like your glasses are fogging up a little bit or your contacts are sweating. Shout out to people who know what that feels like. And you're just like, wait, where? Oh no, it happens. It like you just feel like there's a fuzz in your contact. It's terrible. But where it's just like they're there, but they're just like a little questionably present. And what this basically does, we only get like one tab, right?
Yeah.
So what Mechanical Gist is going to do is it gives enemies a -1 success range to dodge, and what I picture this as being was they're not entirely quite sure where she's coming from, so they don't know how far to dodge.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, absolutely. What do you do, Vesper or Ashuri?
I'd go next. So Vesper, I would think. So what we see right now is there's just one tentacle kind of waving out of the water right now.
Yeah, you kind of saw that, and then you're getting ready now.
Okay. Can I shoot at it, or are we waiting for like the head to pop out Final Fantasy style, and we need to like shoot at that instead?
Oh gosh, it's like the little octopus guy. What's his name?
Now I'm
That's
just
gonna
thinking
bother
Octorok,
me.
and that's Legend of Zelda. That's not the right octopus enemy, and it's not a kraken.
Ultros.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, you talking
I was like, I've got
Final
to figure this
Fantasy?
out.
Fucking Ultras?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
It was I was getting there.
Okay.
Little
How
octopus
far-
guy.
How far away are we from that tentacle?
It was about 100 feet away.
Oh, okay. Well, because I was gonna shoot it, but my gun can't go that far. It's got a range of 60 feet.
Do you want to like change the element of it at all, though, to prepare?
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to do because I know it's set to fire, and that's not gonna really. I think we've got enough fire on the going on right now. So do I need to play one of my tarot cards?
No, this is kind of like
Okay.
a free time.
Okay, well in that case then, yeah, I want to change. Actually, I guess that'll actually pair well with what my thought was. I want to also take a point down my discordant path. So, what you sort of see is Vesper standing there, having finally put away the compact, and sort of seeing that one tentacle and everyone getting ready, and they just kind of toss back their hair a bit, tie it up, and release kind of like this sultry chuckle, like, "Ho ho, I guess it's time to get started, eh? Well, all right then." And then you just sort of see like their eyes glow like even more brightly than they usually do because they're kind of like that golden citrine color, which is how they got that nickname. And you start seeing like this sort of staticky crackle go along down from the top of their head down to their toes and kind of lighting up their really ostentatious cloak. And so they are glowing and crackling a little bit. It feels, if you're close to them, a little staticky. And so for Vespers and their discordance, when I take point down the spirit chart, I can, if they get close enough, because they have to be within 10 feet, but I can release a small static discharge. And if they fail that roll, they take 1d4 lightning damage and are stunned. So I don't know whether I can just like hold on to that and then use it if something gets closer, or if I have to use that in this moment.
We'll say you can hold on to it. Absolutely.
Okay, so they definitely do like that kind of like trick shooter thing with their flintlock to sort of change it from fire elemental to lightning as well, and be like, we're in for a shocking good time, friends. Fully
Hell yeah.
leaning into the pun,
I
loving
love
it. Little head
Yeah.
toss,
So good.
laugh
So
at
good.
their own joke.
Perfect.
A little JoJo pose.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And Ashura, you've got your which remnant do you have summoned right now? Because you can only have one at a
Yeah.
time.
Unless I use my bleh.
There's like a special
no,
ability
yeah.
you have where
Yeah.
it lets one kind of do like an attack and then disappear again. But
I think I have yeah, I think I have Genya summoned. So Genya is this little blue kind of orb that tends to kind of wobble a little bit, like almost like a blob as well. So it shapes and it wobbles anytime like it moves, and from it you've got these weird but incredibly large just pincers. There's this blob of water that has these pincers that will kind of come out and snip at you.
That's really
So-
cute. I love that.
I love it. Incredible.
so-
Iconic. Is there anything else you would like to do to
I
prepare?
mean, if everyone is
Dipping
taking
into.
some discordance, why not? I think in kind of summoning Genya, I'm also gonna take a. I think it kind of prompts me to take a level of discordance on my spirit chart,
Mm-hmm.
where I mean Eshwari is generally always moving, but now even when they're stopped, there is something that is even more fluid about them, that it's almost like everything just keeps on flowing, and their hair, which is in these large like rope twists, it's almost seeming to flow in the same way that water does, and in constant movement, but just kind of still moving, sort of similar to the way Soraya, there's almost that shimmer there, but in this case it's distorting Eshwari's form in such a way that it makes them harder to hit. So it's just that kind of extra fluidity that helps them move out the way, and almost like water parting and then flowing back into space in this very like quick and movable way.
Love it. Incredible.
cool.
Perfect. So as everybody is getting ready, and as people are standing by the cannons just waiting to shoot, we see suddenly a tentacle rise up next to the ship and begin curling down to wrap itself. And we are going to start combat.
Yeah, my
So everybody give me a D10 initiative check. So remember, you can roll either agility or soul. Thumbs.
Oh, I've lost Emma. That might just be me.
No, I think.
Oh wait,
Emma's
I
got-
have a. Can I use my skill? I think I have a skill for this.
Oh, I think Emma's
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Back. You're good.
That was weird. Okay, I could still see and hear you and everything. That was fine. Okay, so we have
Never mind,
two
my skill
failures.
does not apply.
I rolled a 2.
Oh,
So-
heck yeah.
Yeah. So I'm suddenly. You know what? Let me not jinx anything.
Good job.
Say it.
Basil, did you succeed or fail?
No, I failed. I rolled a 9. I thought I had a skill that let me re-roll, but that's for dodging. That's not for.
Yeah, tragically. Okay.
I was like, wait, I can. No, you can't.
So Lola, as this tentacle like quickly rises up out of the water before it comes crashing down on the ship, you get a chance to act. So go ahead and draw your 3 cards. Let me know what you're playing. Maybe show the audience the cool tarot card art, and let me know what you want to do.
Okay. Well, these are the cards that I've picked.
Oh, those are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
We have the 4 of the wands, Ace of Wands, and 2 of Cups. Oh, what do I play? I think it's going to be. Let's go for the 4 of Wands.
Ooh, nice. Perfect. Looks very gay and I love it.
Mm-hmm. And it's very. I feel it's just very apt because it's all about dancing and movement.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And with that, I'm going to not be able to scroll with my thing. I think what I will do is I'm going to use one of. No, how many actions does this take? Okay, so it's still 100 feet away, or has it got closer?
It's closer now, yeah. It's like right next to the ship.
Oh, so within 30, within 60, or just
We'll
like
say within
5?
30, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, in that case, I am going to use use a spell. Yep. So I think that costs 2 of my actions to strike.
Yes.
Yes. So tell me, how do spells work? So I'm just kind of empowering my my remnant, or
So for bum.
I can put it
Pull
in
up your
the-
character sheet. I got it.
Okay.
So you're wanting to use strike specifically?
Yeah.
So for that, your remnant has to hit it first, and then you can use strike.
Okay. So it's kind of so.
If
Can I
you'd
run
like,
the 10 concurrently, kind of.
yeah. If you'd
Yeah,
like, you
okay.
can like pick up your remnant and like throw it to get it closer to the tentacle to attack.
Okay. And would that cost like one of my actions?
Just like one action, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of. I think it's very much kind of pick up this beautiful but weird little blob and kind of almost push it forwards. So it's this blob of water floating in the air, like getting closer to this tentacle, being that's right next to it. And then Genya is going to. What is the difference between a general attack and a special attack?
So a special attack is normally something that can only be used once per encounter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's start off strong. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I roll my critical?
Yes, roll your critical.
Yeah, so we're gonna use the pincer, get out those claws and like... Ooh, it's an 8. It's not quite-
Okay, so nothing extra happens. So your little blob friend goes and tries to pincer it. I rolled a 7. I'm gonna say that succeeds. Even though this thing is very large and strong, I like this. So
It's very much like, oh, I'm gonna be tiny and irritating, like, but you know
Yeah.
when something like either. Okay, it's like stepping on Lego, or
Yeah,
like
or
something
D4.
like catching your toe, right? Something that like is tiny, but oh my
Mhm.
god, it's so fucking mighty painful. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so go ahead and roll 1d10 for your damage.
Okay. And can I use my spell at this? Yeah, at this
Absolutely.
juncture. So
So-
what that would have looked like was me kind of placing a little kiss on my little blob's head as I pushed it forward. To,
I love it.
try and-
Perfect. So
Yeah.
that means you'll get to roll an extra d4.
Okay. That is a 9 on the d10 and a 3 on the d4.
Okay. All right, that's amazing. That's great damage.
Mm-hmm.
All
This
right.
is what I mean. Those Lego would be painful.
Those Lego be painful, you know? Okay.
Right.
That's really good damage. Okay. So, yeah, this little blob just like attacks it with its claws and digs in pretty deep. But you see the tentacle is still kind of coming down. If I'm counting right, you still have one action that you can
Yeah.
use.
I am going to use that to try and regain my magical energy.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and roll a number of d4 equal to your endurance rank.
Yes, I am very glad that is one that I put 2 in. so I can roll 2d4?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that is 4 and 3, so 7.
Perfect. So you get back
Yeah.
7 magical energy.
Yes, so that takes me back to 8.
Mm-hmm. And your little friend still has 2 actions they can use, so they can attack again with their regular attack if you'd like.
Oh. Yes, I think so. I think
Okay.
it's just kind of like, oh, you know when you're like trying to trim something, it's like, okay, we've done the pincer and now we're kind of like just a little bit off the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So go ahead and roll the critical die for me.
9.
9. Okay, so nothing extra happens.
Mhm.
And then let's see what the defense roll is. Okay, so I rolled a 4. So that time the claw isn't quite able to get through like the really thick, tough, meaty parts of this tentacle. But you still did really good damage last time.
Yep.
And now you hear some cannons kind of firing off from below, and you hear as the tentacle is kind of like touching the sides of the boat, you hear like a sizzling. But the tentacle still comes down and starts wrapping around the ship, and you hear the ship begin to kind of like creak. And it does some damage to the ship. I'm just gonna roll that off screen. Okay. And then it is now everybody else's turn. So, who would like to go first, and what would you like to do?
Let's see what we got.
Is punch a tentacle?
You can punch a
valid
tentacle.
action?
And
Yeah, absolutely.
Could I go first really quick? Because I think
Yeah.
I have like a support ability that I actually want to use, and then that'll make y'all do more stuff, do more damage.
Okay, go for it. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna play my 4. We've already seen this, but it's pretty.
Love it.
Actually, this one might be different. And I have just my staff, which lets me. Oh wait, no, I'm like in the engine. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could still be like this stuff, almost like a forge. You know what? When you took
Yeah.
when we discussed it, it's almost like that stuff
would
being
say-
extruded from the forge or something.
So you were wanting to do your arcane ability with your
Yeah,
staff?
I want to.
So I think. So for one, You can do that. I think while you're in the engine of the ship kind of becomes your body. And so it would be 30 feet within the ship.
I love it. I appreciate it.
But also, as a suggestion, if you take another point of discordance into your ship engine path, you can grant all attacks coming from the ship or its crew the fire property and +1 damage. So it'd be like the same effect, but for everybody on the ship.
Okay, yeah. I completely forgot about that. And I was like thinking about it anyway. Yeah, I think I should absolutely do that for sure.
Okay.
So here, I'll bump my discordance up. Ooh, I think like it. Again, it's like I like, you know, the engine roars. I think like kind of my face becomes like a face starts to show in the fire as like I'm almost manifesting more and more. And
I love this a lot. This is great.
There's like there's like little bits of the ship that I can kind of, you know, heat my way through, and I think like the cannons have little tubes that are now like glowing red hot and various other things. I think the deck is steaming, and instead of like burning y'all who are like standing on top, it's instead kind of like invigorating, right? Like there's like a I mean, I love that it's like, you know, you're dancing around or something. It's like you got hot feet, like you're
It's a heated sidewalk.
It's like a heated sidewalk. You feel good. The cold breeze and water doesn't bother you. The wind doesn't hurt.
I love it.
All of it now.
So, discordance abilities don't even take an action. They're just things you get to do for free. So you still have 4 actions. You could use them to fire cannons on the ship.
I think, yeah. I like to take. I want to take some ship actions. You know.
Okay, so firing cannons is 2 actions, and so you could fire 2 cannons on your turn.
That sounds perfect.
Okay, go ahead and roll me 2 critical die.
That counts as, for in like games terms, that's me interacting with an object, right? It's like 2 actions for an object or something.
Yeah, basically.
One second, reroll that one. Okay, yeah, nothing.
Okay, cool. So now, we're gonna say the ship has like a 5 physical, so the difficulty is gonna be a D10. Okay, so the tentacle rolled a 10, and so is able to withstand kind of the first cannon, or it just, yeah, I think it clips it and it just like ricochets off and flies into the ocean somewhere, but doesn't really affect.
That's
the second one.
That the tentacle is
wait,
strong.
no, I'm dumb. Rolling high is bad in this system. I should know that. So, so both attacks actually hit. So go ahead. You get to roll damage. For cannons, we'll say it's a D10 for each cannon.
And it does.
Then you get a +1.
All right, let's see. The first one's a 9.
Jesus Christ.
And the second one's a 9 total. I rolled 8.
What the fuck?
Oh, very good tonight. Thank you so much.
Okay. So. Okay.
A lot of damage.
Incredible.
Now I want all of y'all to fuck shit up.
So, I heard punching was on the table. Pooja, would you like to punch?
Well, what I was thinking is I have a question about my discordant ability.
Okay.
which allows me once per day to take a free form-changing mark on my Discordance chart.
Yes.
So I can just do that?
Yes. So basically what it means is everybody else, how they have like 3 points of discordance that they can use safely per day, you get 4 that you can use safely per day.
Okay.
And yeah, you
All right.
can activate that whenever you'd like.
Oh, okay, so I don't need to do that yet, since I've only taken 1 Discordance
Yeah.
thing. Alright, well, I would like to take another one in Natural Weapon,
Okay.
which will allow me to deal 1 damage to the enemy's health, even if they successfully defend.
Okay.
And then... I guess I don't remember how many, like, what cards I had from the first, since they were...
Right. I get to draw new cards for you. Actually, we fixed the digital deck, so you should be able to see those now. If you click kind of the deck that's above your picture in Roll20.
Ooh, okay. Sweet.
Hopefully you're able
Reveal.
to see those.
Well, I'm trying to reveal them. I see the backs. Oh, okay, they are revealed. Okay, so I've got the 3 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the 2 of Cups. And is Ace a 1?
Ace is 1, but Ace is a special card in that it lets you do kind of one thing of any action cost.
Oh, okay.
So if
I'll
you had a
just save
spell that
then.
cost like 5 actions, you could still use an Ace to cast that in one go.
Well, I would like to use the 2 then.
Okay, perfect.
The 2 of Cups. And I would like to use... I think I'm inspired by Tara's, like, fieriness. And I was like, okay. And I would like to spark.
Ooh.
Okay, nice.
And so what I can do is I can shoot a magical electrical strike at a target in range, and they have to defend. And if they fail, they'll take damage and be stunned.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
And if they are wet, they take an
This-
additional 2 points of damage.
This would be wet. You're right.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
argue that.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll your critical die for me.
Okay. That's a D10, right?
Yes.
That is a 6.
Okay, so nothing extra happens.
Okay.
And your agility is 3?
My agility is 4.
4. Okay. Got it. So
And then I also have my the 2 discordances up, which gives them a -1 success range to dodge, and I will be dealing 1 extra damage.
okay, got it. Okay, so it failed its defense roll. So go ahead and roll a d6 for me. I'm gonna normally I would say a punch is like 2 damage or maybe a d4, but since you really like punching things, I'm gonna reflavor your staff to be kind of like this cool, like arcane focus glove that you use to punch things.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you get that extra little bit of damage.
Like a boxing,
So that's 2 on the D6. Is that for the electric damage or for the punch?
That's for the
That's really-
electric damage.
Okay, so 2 on the electric damage, and then 1 + 1 for my natural weapon. For just
Plus
being
1 for natural weapon.
strong.
Plus 2 for it being wet and it being electrical damage. Plus 1 fire damage because of the ship's blessing.
And it,
So that's 6 total. So that does get a little bit past. Incredible.
Yeah.
I can't
Wow.
go any. Now I can't take a move.
That's so many bonuses.
I love that.
You still have 20 feet of free movement that you can use.
Is there another tentacle?
Not yet.
Okay, I will wait then. I'm not going any.
Okay, sounds good. Next up, Basil. What would you like to do?
Definitely, I think, like, once the ship started steaming and the good smell started wafting up, Vesper took a moment and was like, now see, I told you that Lily of the Valley scent would come in handy. Scrumptious. And so they just sort of eye up the tentacle and go, "You're kind of ruining the view, though, darling. You have to go." So I'm going to use my 4 of Pentacles or
Nice.
coins. Come on, little thing.
Ooh.
Behave yourself. Doesn't want to behave. I'm gonna use that, and I want to use my flintlock pistol, which is set to electricity, and I want to shoot the tentacle with my gun.
Incredible. Okay, perfect. So, go ahead and roll your critical die.
Yeah, actually, how far away am I from that tentacle?
We'll say you're definitely in range. Maybe like 20 to 30 feet.
Okay, can I move a little closer? I wanted to use also my discordant static discharge on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'll just say like I moved. I think one of my passive abilities, I can move an extra 5 feet. So I guess between the 20 feet and the 5 feet, whatever number that is, to get within 10 feet of the tentacle.
Yeah, you're definitely able to do so.
Okay, and then I say all my cool stuff, and then I shoot it. So I roll a d10, you said?
D10.
Okay, get that.
Roll 2d10 since this is technically 2 attacks.
I gotta get the other one out then. Hold on. It's in here somewhere. No, that's not it. That's either. Of course, it's always the last die in the bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just pour them all out.
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't negotiate
No,
with bags.
No, I think it's this one actually. Got too many things on my desk.
It's a mood.
Okay, I did grab. Okay, this is the first d10. So let's see. Oh, well, this one is a 1. Let's see what the second one is. Let's find the right die again. Yes. Okay, well, this one's a 5. That's better.
Okay. So which one would you rather have automatically fail?
Jeez. In terms of like what I was trying to do.
Yeah, because a 1 means that the attack automatically fails. So I'll let you choose if you'd rather the pistol shot fail or the static discharge fail.
I would say probably, because I did also have like a horribly cheesy line queued up for Vesper, that they would definitely like go up to the tentacle and be like, "Oh, can't you sense the spark between us?" And they would shoot, and I think shooting it is fine, but their intent after that to like shock them with the static discharge by like blowing a kiss and being like, just nothing happens. Like there's
Okay.
still the pose and the kiss blowing, but then it's just like, wait a minute, go get off me and go hit the tent. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. So go ahead and what is for your pistol, are you using power or I think it's actually just agility. So what's your agility rank?
My agility is 4. I don't know if that means that's what its rank is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what it means. So roll a d8 to defend. And I fail. That tentacle's getting beat up. So go ahead and roll your damage. And I will say that this is weak to electricity. So your gun's like arcane ability is that if you attack something with an elemental weakness and you use that element with your flintlock pistol, you deal 2d4 rather than 1d4.
Nice. Well, there's not another tentacle up because I was going to. I was thinking of using ricochet if it hit, but there's nothing. You can't ricochet off the tentacle and then back to the tentacle.
Yeah,
How that works.
sadly.
Okay, let's roll it. All right, that one's a 2, and now my dice want to roll low. This one is a 1. So
Okay.
2 and a 1. So
2 and a 1 tragically does not get through its defense, but you still have 2 actions. You can shoot again if you would like. Because as we've said, discordance abilities are free.
yeah.
You just get to do those.
Let's see if there's something else I want to do. So, question: Can I imbue gosh, sorry, I'm scrolling back up here to get the name. Can I imbue Ashuri's remnant? Am I allowed?
I don't have anything that says you can't. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
totally good with it. But
Yeah, as
like,
long as the player's cool with it. And yeah, I think you could run up and like tap it with imbue. So what would you like to do?
Okay, in that case, then, after sort of looking at the tentacle and realizing that, I couldn't quite zap it, I, remembered that Ashuri's little blob buddy was doing a pretty good job, and so I look at it and go, okay, I'm going to pass the baton to you. Good luck, darling. And so Vesper kind of runs over and just kind of hops up and is like, boop, and just kind of boops the little blob to imbue it with like, can I imbue it with electricity?
Let me see what ones you have.
Water. Its element is water, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, not if it's gonna hurt the poor thing. I just meant like, so it could be water and
it'll
like
be
kind
a
of
little bit more like Oko that has the lights running through it, but it's just like.
Wait, did we have that +1 from the ship, from the fire?
Yes.
When I shot the tentacle?
Yeah, you should have done 1 extra damage.
Yeah.
And that would have made a difference.
Ooh.
So your 2 enchantments are boost and stick. Boost is like a non-elemental damage that it adds, so it's not really electricity, but it is still an extra point of damage, which is good.
Okay, well in that case, instead of electricity, I'll give it a little boost, though, a little tap boost, like you got this.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Incredible.
Love of water. Thank you.
At the top of the round, another tentacle appears out of the water and starts wrapping itself around the back of the ship and kind of curling onto the deck of the ship. And now, who succeeded initially?
Me.
Okay, yeah. So
initiative?
Yes, with initiative. So you get to go. It is now your turn.
Okay. Right, so draw another card of my 2 left. Yes.
No, so you have 2 cards in your hand, and then once you're out of cards, you'll draw the last 2.
Okay, cool. So I won't put that one back in. Okay, let's decide. And remind me, what does the ace do?
The ace lets you do like one big thing. So it lets you do 1 action of any cost.
Right, okay. Can I heal the ship in any like?
I'll allow it.
Okay, so then I'll use my ace.
Okay.
To like, and I'm using it because I'm like, it feels like a big thing even if the cost is too high. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use my lesser heal with my kiss on the cheek ability.
Okay. Can you tell the audience what Kiss on the Cheek does as an ability?
So, as a protector, I've taken on the kiss on the cheek ability, which is basically says when you heal an ally, you can add half of my soul rank, rounded down to the amount healed. And my
Perfect.
soul is 4, so it's just another. Oh no, my soul is 3, so it's actually just another 1, I think.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll the D4 for me.
Yeah. Roll well. Yes, it's a 4. Okay, so it's 5.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay.
So I think what that looks for is possibly just a kind of I guess the deck's kind of hot, but it's very much kiss on the hand and then pop it like down on the deck and almost like putting intention into that
Mhm.
to be
Yeah.
like, yeah,
I like it.
good.
Incredible.
Okay, and then Jenya, who has so wonderfully been bolstered by Vesper, is just gonna come in with that snip.
Okay,
Like,
perfect.
this
So
time-
go ahead
this
and
time
roll
I
the critical die for me.
Ugh, it's a 4.
Okay, so nothing extra, but nothing bad. And they failed their check, so you get to roll damage.
Okay, that is the D10 again, I think you said? Was
The
it?
D10 is for the special one. For the
Oh, yeah.
regular one, I think it's a D6.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But I get a +1 from bolster?
So you get a +1 from bolster and a +1 fire damage from the ship's blessing.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so that's a 2 plus 2.
+2 is 4.
I think that little fire damage is probably like that snipping of taking that snipping like at that tentacle is almost like those claws are now superheated, so it's kind of
Mhm.
cauterizing those wounds so that like adding extra like burning damage so it kind of travels inwards a little bit more.
I
Do you
like
know
that a
about-
lot.
Do you know about pistol shrimp? Pistol shrimp, they
Yes. Oh
they
yes.
snap
With
their
the
claws
whole
at such velocity that it actually ignites underwater.
yeah.
Oh,
and
the
it's, like,
mantis.
hotter than the
I think
sun.
I've always heard them called mantis shrimp.
There's 2 different ones that can do
Oh,
it.
are there? Okay, that's wild. They're
But
so
like they're a crack shot.
they're
Mhm.
wild.
The ocean is terrifying.
The ocean is absolutely terrifying. Okay, so next up is the enemy's turn. So I'm gonna roll 2d10 now because there's 2 attacks happening. Nothing special happens. Ship's able to withstand one of them and doesn't withstand the other one. All right. All right. And now you hear kind of like the front tentacle has weakened a lot as you all have been beating it up. But you hear some creaking coming from the back of the ship now with the arrival of this new tentacle. And it is now everybody else's turn. So who would like to go first?
I'll see if any of you want to do something.
Does anyone have any like set up stuff? Because I'm a hit at thing.
I feel like I've set up as much as I can, so I feel like we're just on hit stuff right now.
Okay. How close? What do I have within range? I have a range of 30 feet.
I mean, both tentacles are definitely within 30 feet.
Okay, I was just reading how I had like a reaction-ish thing, but I guess you borrow from your next turn?
Yeah, the way
Oh.
reactions work is if you have a reaction spell or ability that you want to use, you'll basically play a card from your hand. And that's the card that you'll use on your next turn, and you basically use the actions from that turn to do what you want to do.
Okay. I don't want to... I already spent 3 ME today, so I don't want to spend more right now. So what I will do is... I would like to do... This is interesting. So hardened defense reinforces a physical attribute, but does that factor in to attack? If that physical attribute
it doesn't.
is...
So
it doesn't. Okay.
what reinforce does is basically if you were to take damage and it exceeded your reinforced attributes amount and did damage to your health, if the stat was reinforced, then it wouldn't go down 1. It wouldn't be fatigued.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to instead do natural weapons.
Okay.
Number 3, which reduces the enemy's defending attribute by 1, even if they successfully defend.
Okay.
And then I will punch a tentacle.
Love it. Are you punching the weak one or the healthy one?
The weak one. Just take it out.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Go ahead and roll your critical die for me.
Will do. That's a 10.
That's a crit then. So
That's
you'll
my first-
deal double damage.
And then damage is 1d6 on my regular attack, right?
Yes. So you'll roll 2d6 since you
D6?
crit. It failed its defense roll. So roll those 2d6.
All right, so I rolled a 3 and 2, so that's 5.
Okay.
And then I deal 1 extra damage for my discordance, right?
Yep. And then an extra fire damage from the ship. So that's 7.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
Incredible. Okay, amazing.
How's that weak tentacle doing?
It's looking pretty weak. It's having a hard time doing any damage, but it's got a lot of health. So, would you like to do anything else, or is that it?
I would have had to use. I think I didn't pick the card I was using. I guess I would have. I would. Let's just say I used the 3.
Okay.
So I still.
So you'd still have one action.
One action.
You could bank that action for next turn.
I will do that.
Okay. Cool. So you have one action banked. Next up, Basil or Vidya, who would like to go?
I can go.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stick with what I was thinking. So Vesper is still standing next to the weakened tentacle, and a little annoyed, but does give a little thumbs up to the remnant, like, good job, buddy, you did it. And gives a kind of a praising eye to the tentacle, and for a moment turns to the others and goes, you guys think we can eat this? Because I'm getting a little hungry. It's all sizzly and maybe I'm not gonna try right now, but maybe later. Maybe we'll carve off a bit for later. But let's get rid of it first. And so they're just gonna shoot at it, and I'm going to use my 3 of wands.
Okay, nice.
Put you over there. And so so Vesper is going to point their gun at the weakened tentacle and shoot at it again. And
Okay.
hopefully this time I actually hit it.
Perfect. Incredible. So go ahead and roll your critical die for me.
Okay. Which is you, my little friend. Oh, that's just a 7.
Okay, so nothing extra. And it failed its defense roll. So go ahead and roll damage for me. Remember, you get to roll 2d4.
Okay. And I think this time, yes, because there are 2 tentacles. I also want to do ricochet, but I think I can do that after I roll my damage, right?
You would do it after you roll damage. I don't think so. The way ricochet works is I think they have to be within 10 feet of each other.
Oh, is it farther than that?
Yeah, like one tentacle is at the front of the ship and one is at the back of the ship.
Oh, yeah. Ships are big. Okay, so no ricochet. That'd
Ships
be a
do
wild
be
ricochet,
big.
honestly. Trick shot. Okay, so 2d4 at least. Let me get the 4s. See, it's a 4 and another 4. Good job, dice. Good
2
job.
4s
Yeah! Surprisingly.
plus 1 extra fire damage. So 9 damage is a lot of damage. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to do? You have one more action.
Let's see. That's a reaction. But that's too far. No, I think I'll bank it. I can still
Okay.
do that.
Sounds good. And
Don't forget.
next up, Hara. You feel kind of the strain that these 2 tentacles are putting on the ship.
Is the because the tentacles, if they're like touching the ship and stuff, is it burning?
I have been
them?
tracking their damage. Yeah, don't worry.
I don't have too many great actions, so that's also why I said I would go last. So here's my 2.
Beautiful.
And I think I'm just gonna fire cannons because that went real well last time.
Okay, sounds good. So you get to fire 1 cannon. So go ahead and roll the critical die for me. Okay, it fails its defense roll. So go ahead and roll your damage.
And that was another D10, right?
Yeah, D10.
Okay, that's just 2. So 2 plus
2
1 is 3.
plus
3.
1, 3. Yeah. All right. As the cannon fires, and you hear it kind of strike into the weakened tentacle, you feel, Hara, you feel the weakened tentacle begin to lift slightly as it begins to pull back. But as it's pulling back, the rest of you see 3 more tentacles begin to rise out of the water, grabbing onto the sides of the ship. And together they begin to pull the ship, creaking but holding strong together because you defended it enough, pulling it down into the water. And as the camera fades and we see the ship kind of ensnarled by these various tentacles and this large body of something you can't quite see kind of beginning to engorge around it as the ship is swallowed up and eaten by old Tenley tentacles. And next session, we will explore the insides of old Tenley tentacles and see what sorts of fun and interesting things are in there. And you
nothing
all
bad, obviously, right?
No.
nothing bad,
Only
obviously.
cool stuff.
You all did well to damage that one tentacle so much and also heal the ship was great.
Yay.
There was a chance of the ship getting destroyed and then you being inside without the ship. That was my plan, but you all did well enough that you'll be able to keep the ship inside of Old Henley Tentacles, which will
Good.
very much come in handy, I think.
Gotta keep the good smells rolling.
We gotta have
Yeah,
a good smell as well.
absolutely. You're just like a nice little breath mint.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We are going to have part 2 of this session next Monday, so please come and join us then. It should be a really fun time. But I'm going to go around, let my players reintroduce themselves, say who they are, where you can find them, and anything else they want to share. Let's start off with Viditya.
Hey everybody, I've been Viditya. I'll continue to be him, hopefully. You can find me online everywhere at Viditya Valetti, and you can find my games at vidityavaletti.itch.io.
Heck yeah, perfect. Next up, Pooja.
Me. Hello, everybody. I once again have been Pooja. You can find me on Twitter at Pooja and Poojabaraki on all other platforms. And I'm excited to punch more things.
I've loved the punching. It's been great. Next, Basil.
Hey, y'all. Good news. My migraine's finally gone. So I remember that I
Yay.
didn't say my pronouns. I'm Basil, they, he, z. You can find me on Twitter at Kobanya_Kana. You can find me as Kobanya everywhere else, Tumblr, Pillowfort. I'm not on Mastodon. If somebody has that name, it's not me. Don't interact. You can find me on my website, towerofbasil.wordpress.com. That's pretty much. I'm also Kobanya on itch. I knew I forgot something. I make games. I do make games. I swear.
Incredible. I love it. And last, Lola.
Hey, I am Lola. My pronouns, I didn't put them up at the beginning. But yeah, Lola, they, them. I have been Ashwari. They, them also. I am at Third Vault Yarns on social media pretty much everywhere. And also, I make games too. That's Johnson Ofer on itch. So that's cool. And I guess, I mean, if you want yarn, I can supply geeky yarns for your yarny needs at thirdvaultyarns.com.
Incredible. Thank you so much. And I'm Emma, also known as Emmapanada. You can find me online on Twitch and Twitter at Emmapanada. I don't stream too much, but you can find me there. And I am also the creator and lead game designer and everything for All the Witches, this game that we've been playing. If it looks interesting to you, or if you want to find out more, you can find us at allthewitches_ on Twitter, or you can go to our Kickstarter. There's a lot of information there. You can read all about it and maybe back us if you feel so inclined. But thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate your time and your attention. Have a great rest of your night. Be sure to follow Bad House RPG on Twitch if you aren't already. If you have a Prime subscription, you can use that here, and it's really cool. You get some fun emotes, and you support a really great channel. You can also find them on Twitter at Bad House RPG, and just kind of keep up to date with all the games and special series they have going on. My partner Matihi is running a cyberpunk game with some really amazing players starting on Wednesday. There are vampire games that are happening. There's a whole lot of stuff. So be sure to pay attention, peep all the cool art that's happening, and yeah, have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.